Welcome to day one at the IGL Retriever Championships. I'm here with a very sore throat. You're not going to see very much of me, but at the back here we've got the spectators who are watching the first drive, and then they will be watching, hopefully, some very good dogs from all across the country doing some phenomenal retrieves to see who is the best in the country. So that's the first drive underway. There are quite a few birds down in the front field. The keeper at the beginning of the day said that he would blow a whistle, possibly pausing this drive midway through, which soon does happen. And they would then start retrieving with a few of the dogs, which have been split into two groups, before restarting the drive and then sending some more. And here we are with the odd numbers. The even numbers were on the other side of the hill with the higher guns. We were watching the odd numbers from this field. There are two dogs here ready to go. Both got field retrieves, and later on they got slightly more complicated with some in the pen and a couple in the cover crop. Competitor number 5, forgive me if I'm wrong, we were a fair way back, I'm fairly sure it's number 5, had just been given the direction of the bird that the judge wished her to pick from the field, and you can see her sending her dog up. She's lined up with the wind taken into account. Some of the spectators and plus ones watching the odd numbers from a safe distance so that they are not distracting the dogs while they're working and disturbing any of the marked birds. This was the trickiest retrieve, I would say, of the morning on the odd numbers side. There was a bird which had come down, a hen bird, in the corner of this field near to the IBC tank. Unfortunately, and I'm not sure that it was noted, when a dog went prior, it flushed that bird and the bird popped its head up and just ran into the cover crop. One dog was unable to find it, and the handler kept holding it into the area of the field marked by the judge. The next dog went up into the cover crop and hunted beautifully through the cover crop and stuck in the cover crop for a very long time, but was still unable to find it. The third dog went up and actually did manage to find it, and it had hunkered down just behind that IBC tank that you can see there, and you'll see the retrieve in a minute where the dog returns with the bird over the fence.
Number 11.
You're getting good at this now. You're getting good.
Oh, yeah.
That's it. That was good, isn't it?
And an outstanding retrieved in the end by this yellow dog who found it by the IBC tank. All of the competitors then went back to their side spectating area and the drive restarted to pop some more birds on the floor and to commence again with the rest of the numbers in each group. Kudos to the guns, who must have felt some pressure shooting this drive, and what phenomenal effort by the gamekeeper, who managed to hold those pheasants there for probably a good half an hour or so whilst some retrieving took place before restarting the same drive, and then produced some serious birds. Being spectated by the gallery, the odd numbers then picked more birds out in the field. Some of them were in fairly dense areas where there were numerous birds together, and others were slightly longer retrieves. The even numbers finished before the odd numbers due to a couple of errors in marking, where the odd numbers had been looking for birds that unfortunately hadn't been there, so they'd had to retake a couple of times. However, the even numbers were all done and everyone spectated to the end of the drive. Some fantastic retrieves to be had and some nice long distance ones too.
Now finally got through to human beings. Is it not possible to ask me a load of security questions about the cat?
Then we all moved on in convoy to drive number 2. Drive number 2 was harder to view, and I've only videoed a small amount of this just to give you a feel for the day, because you might be thinking, should I go? Would I like to go and watch? I highly recommend it. Anyone that's really into gun dogs, it's a beautiful estate to visit and a great place to go and watch. Held this year on Coombe Estate down in Devon, it's well worth a visit. However, some of the drives are slightly harder to see, and you'll see here we could see some spectacular birds, but we were just shielded by the dog work by from the trees. However, I understand that there are other drives this afternoon that will be clearer to see. IGL, it is absolutely freezing now. I cannot begin to tell you, even in the sunshine. If you're going to come along, what I would definitely recommend is that you bring warm clothes and food and drinks. I bought food and drinks, should have bought more clothes, yes.